Greetings. Helen Ann Brown here, and for some time we've been looking at the whole matter of self identity, a very important component for human success. We all need a healthy self identity. And as a Christian community, it's extremely important to maximize all our productivity and our walk with God on the earth. Now, a very important part of it is self identity. And we're prone as Christians to forget the whole emotional and mental state and hence not understand how much it can disallow us. Now, I've done some programs on it before, so what I want to focus on now is an actual interview with Kirkland Rowe, and he has a certain issue that I find it interesting and admirable that he's able to work with and be successful. Now, Mr. Rowe is a lecturer at one of our prominent universities. I won't give any advert to it, especially before because it's not the one I went to. So he is here and he is going to speak to us about how he managed to overcome the whole problem of stuttering. You can imagine his job involves speech, and here it is, Mr. Rowe.
Yes.
So thanks for coming first of all.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and I'm going to ask you, when did you begin to stutter?
Well, as far back as I can remember, I stuttered.
Right.
And so as a little boy,
Yes.
I just knew myself to be a stutterer.
And I can imagine school.
Yes.
How was school?
School was interesting. People would laugh whenever I talked.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how did you react to it as a child?
Well, I learned from an early age, whether consciously or subconsciously, that I had to just talk, regardless of what people wanted to do or they react. My motto in the classroom was, it is I who have to learn. It is me alone who will be the exam. So I have to ask the question to get the answer that I need.
That's good.
Yeah.
Really good. Now, just a little backup. I should have probably read a little before, but I didn't on this whole topic. Have you ever read anything that tells you what causes stuttering? And by the way, stuttering for those in certain contexts, stammer, we have it as stammer, in a very colloquial sense in Jamaica, stuttering being the more universal term. Have you ever done a background reading on the cause?
Yes, I have done some amount of reading. There are different schools of thought. There are some people who believe it's physical. There are some persons who believe it's psychological. And so for each school of thought, there are different strategies that are applied to remedy the situation.
Okay. And is it hereditary? Is it social? Is it something you learn? Is that learned behavior or hereditary problem? What are your own thoughts in terms of your context?
My own thoughts. The interesting thing is that I have seen where, like, one of my small nephews, whenever I used to interact with him and then I go away, he would mimic my speech pattern. And so his mom, my sister, and his dad would have to try to get him out of that behavior where he's mimicking my speech.
So you actually said like he mimics it until it becomes like a habit? Or?
He begins to stutter. So I'm not sure. But I've known persons who, what you would say, mocked me. And then by mocking me after a while, they become stutter. But the interesting thing about my family tree is that on my mom's side, she and all her sisters stuttered when they were very young.
Interesting.
And on my father's side, his dad stuttered really bad.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that doesn't preclude the fact that it's a learned behavior, because if you imagine all your mom's sisters, they could have learned it from each other, and it's very interesting that you said that these people, after they started mocking somebody, say that's called retribution. You should mock the man, or you mock the boy, and look what happened to you.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so to you now, you're a lecturer. It means your voice is paramount for the success of your job. What has been your philosophy of life in terms of the classroom and getting over this thing?
I know I have something to say. So the way to get it out is to talk. In the classroom, I don't hide the fact that I stutter. I don't try to hide it or cover it up. In fact, I tell my students, they know that I have a speech impediment. I let it out. I let them know that, hey, it's okay to laugh at the beginning of my classes because I used to laugh at my grandfather. In fact, the way I'm talking now, it's way better than I used to talk. I'm just using some of the strategies I have been learning. Like breathing exercises. Are you looking at the words you're actually saying? And so I'm able to speak a lot better now than I used to.
Yeah. So when you go to a new class, say in August or September, when university opens, you introduce yourself. I stutter.
Well,
it is funny. It is humorous. You're going to laugh.
Yes.
So guess what? Get it over and done with. Then let's move on. Something like that.
Yes, it gets mixed into the introduction.
Yes.
I let them know that I used to even laugh at my own grandfather.
Yes.
And so people sometimes would see us talking and they would think it's probably code because like and so
in a different
I
language.
put them at ease. Yes. I put them at ease and to let them know it's okay to laugh. But the important thing is that you laugh, then you stop, and we can get back to the lesson.
I love the strategy. Yeah. I love the strategy because I use some of it sometimes when I'm talking to certain people. All right, get over it. I'm X, I'm Y, I'm this, I'm that. So guess what? When you get past all of that, we'll start working. So you don't have to waste your time saying, "Why? How should you think so? She should have just." I don't tell them up front. This is why. Come on. Let's get on with it. Yeah. And I honestly believe it's a healthy strategy because people know from you don't have to if and but about how I work, my style, my this, I might say, something, I'm eccentric. So guess what? Yeah. When you pass the eccentricities, we get on with the program. Yeah. So you don't have to waste your time trying to assess me and whispering behind my back. Yes. You right up front, I'll tell you. So hey, let's move on. I think it's a very healthy strategy.
I could also add here that what ends up happening is that by the time we get to the second or even the third lesson, nobody laughs anymore.
That's it. Yeah, and what I think about people stutter, the person's listening, you get a bit uncomfortable for the person's sake, right? But because you have a healthy self-identity, you can do anything you feel like. So it puts me at ease because a lot of time the discomfort comes from the person listening. It's all like, why help him? No God do. Help me forget that out. Y'all, if you notice, some people are butting and try to help you. Yeah. So you might be there saying something like, and the person, good. It's like trying to help you to find the word because you have this empathy for the person. But because you are so confident about who you are, in spite of the stuttering, it actually puts people at ease.
It does.
Good.
And I can share another example here. I remember in one of my classes, I was trying to say something, and it came out like this, like I would say, and I turned around and I was saying something like, that sounds like a rap rhythm. And the entire class
laughing, of course.
It put them at ease. Yes. I know that some students actually wanted to laugh at the time. So it put them at ease. It let them know that I'm comfortable and it's okay.
That's it. So they don't have to be thinking, because human beings are unkind. So you take away the weapons, You take away the weapons of unkindness because people would want to talk about you, laugh at you. But if you're at ease and laughing with them, what can they do? That's what I'm saying. If you come across them, people are going to talk about you behind your back. You just tell them, all right, let's all discuss every flaw that I have so you don't waste any more time. You don't have to be talking to your friend about who I am. Just cool it. I'll tell you who I am up front. Yeah. And then we move on. It's a very healthy strategy. What it does too, it empowers you. Because what it does, it sets you to now become anything in the world. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because as somebody, for example, who, let me be honest, I like honesty when I do programs, is that if I'm going to assign a preacher, I've been doing it. But I'm not sure I said Kirkland Rowe because the stuttering, half of it is more compassion for you, but also compassion for the audience. But because of how you face this issue and the healthy self-identity you have, then it puts me at ease. I say, all right, let me just go up there and know if I handle himself. You understand? So it's an empowering thing. And I was just using your situation to tell us that there are many other situations. In one of the self-identity videos I did, I mentioned this particular disease. I keep forgetting the name, so pardon me. Where the skin turns white in patches. You know that disease. It affects people of color a lot. And there are people who are just wearing it now. They're not trying to wear makeup to cover it over anymore. This is who I am. So part of half of my face white, piece of my hand white, that's just it. And they go out there and they do their thing. And I think, honestly, it is really freeing up people from a lot of the things which formerly would have had to be hiding. We just say, that's who I am.
Yeah.
I mentioned my own voice, that I have this deep voice, which doesn't come across as beautiful as I thought it should have been. But I just embrace it. That's who I am.
Yeah.
You see? So we just embrace ourselves. Not talking about embracing sin, no, but embracing the physical things about ourselves and some of the behavioral things which we cannot change. Things like personality traits. Some of them we might not be able to change. I'm not talking about lack of self-improvement. I don't want people to confuse the two. But the things which identify us as us, it is healthy to embrace it. And I know you are doing very well in your career and you're pushing ahead. And I tell you something, as somebody who has to work with Mr. Kirkland Rowe, I find instead of shying away from talking, he talks too much. He does. Somebody said this man chatting over. So the thing is, it actually is a show show that you are healthy in how you view this issue and you have a healthy self-identity. I thank you so much for sharing us, Mr. Rowe,
Thank
and
you
opening
for
up
having
about
me.
this. Yes,
Thank you.
yes, and I want to encourage all of us. If you have this particular problem, I should ask Mr. Rowe to give you a few tips in another program of things you can do, whether it's coming from a sociological source or a physical source or a psychological source or a combination of how to work being a stutterer. May God richly bless you. And by the way, before I leave, you might say, so how that connects to God? It connects to God because without a healthy self-identity, believe me, it is going to hamper the ability to maximize God's purpose in your earth. Have a very great day.